Hey everyone, welcome to this week's Torah portion of Vayechi. We talk about the end of Jacob's life. We open up, Jacob calls Joseph, and he says, I want you to promise me that you will not bury me in Egypt. By the way, whenever I go to the Field Museum in Chicago, I always think about this story, because they have tombs from Egypt, and you could see how they worship the dead. Jacob didn't want any of that. I don't want anyone worshiping my dead body and bringing offerings and gifts and so on. No way. You take my remains, bury me in Hebron, in the cave of Machpelah, where my parents are buried, where my grandparents are buried. And then he wants to give a blessing to Joseph's two sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, or Manasseh and Ephraim. Manasseh was older. Ephraim is younger. The older one is placed next to Jacob's right hand, the younger one next to his left hand. The right is considered more important. It's chesed, kindness, all sorts of other ideas about the right. We always give preference to the right over the left, unless you're a lefty. And Jacob switches his hands. Instead of giving his right hand on the older one, he puts his right hand on the younger one, on Ephraim, and the left hand on Manasseh. Joseph is disturbed by this. He said, no, father, that's wrong. The older one should get the right hand. And Jacob says, true, he will be great, but Ephraim will be greater. The words are, he'll be his, however, his younger brother shall be greater than he, and his offspring's fame will fill the nations. And indeed, Joshua comes from Ephraim, and that is significant. The greatest of all the leaders, student of Moses, led the people across the Jordan into Israel. So what's going on over here? Let's dissect this for a minute. Let me ask you a question. How comfortable are you? How comfortable are you in the state that the Jewish people are in? Are you comfortable in Galus? Galus means exile. The world is a fractured place. How comfortable can we be? This is the question that we're going to address with the lens of Ephraim and Manasseh. You see, Manasseh was given his name because Joseph was feeling a longing to be home with his father. He said, God, I'm forgetting my father's home. All the pain I've been through is causing me to forget. Which might be a good thing to some degree, but Joseph doesn't want to forget. He longs to be with his father. Ephraim is from the word Hifrani. God, you've made me successful in this land. He's the viceroy of Egypt, of course. So these are two ideas going on. On the one hand, Manasseh. Are we comfortable? Do we belong here? Does the state of the world, are we satisfied with the way it is? Are we satisfied with the state of the Jewish people? Or is there something we long for that's greater, better? We're longing for that state of peace, the era of the Mashiach. Manasseh. On the other hand, we recognize how much great things we can accomplish here and in the current state. It brings out of us, it brings out in us that Jewish identity, the Jewish spark. We get to teach Jewish ideas and values of the Torah to the people. There's something great we can accomplish like Joseph in Egypt. And which one is most important? It makes sense that for Joseph, Manasseh was preferable. Remembering where he was, where he should be. Jacob says, look what you're accomplishing. Look at you. My son is the prime minister of Egypt. Wow. And he's still a tzaddik. He's still righteous. Phenomenal. So for Jacob, Ephraim takes precedence. For Joseph, Manasseh takes precedence. And for us, it's both. For us, we have to remember who we really are, where we come from, and where we really belong. close to our Father in heaven, close to the era of the Mashiach. That's what we really want. And at the same time, we remember what we got to accomplish. And we keep our eye on the prize to really bring God into the world, to society, to everyone around us, as proud Jews, like Yosef HaTzadik, like Yosef the righteous in Egypt. That's what we can accomplish. And it's a constant balancing act. Never to be too comfortable, but always to remember what we can accomplish. And with that, I wish you a good Shabbos.